Benefit cuts are coming. We know they're coming. And let me tell you how we know they're coming. We know they're coming because the government have told us, right? Keir Starmer has said that it's not fair. Keir Starmer said it's disgusting, doesn't like the welfare bill. We've had various other cabinet ministers saying it's happening. And we also know it's happening because some Labour backbenchers, that's the Labour MPs who aren't in the main cabinet team, right? They're not happy. And so Labour government people, number 10, have been having him in for a cup of tea, glass of wine, maybe a crisp. I bet they don't do crisps properly. Probably nuts or something. Anyway, they've been going into number 10 and talking, and number 10 are trying to tell them it's going to be okay. Labour MPs are really of the opinion that we cannot cut the benefits bill. We've got to look after people. So it's going to be quite hairy there. So there's two main types, right? There's PIP, the Personal Independence Plan, and that's some money, it's not a huge amount of money, that goes to you to help you be independent. So PIP is not means tested, and it does not depend on whether you've got a job or not. So if you've got a job, you can still get PIP. If you're a millionaire, you can still get PIP, because PIP is there to help you do what you need to do. Then there is Universal Credit, which is means tested and is very much depends on whether or not you've got a job. Universal Credit was brought in by the Conservative government to replace job seekers allowance and all the other different benefits there were. So if you haven't got a job, you go onto Universal Credit. And people with disabilities who cannot work because of their disability get Universal Credit. And also sometimes get a bit more because it's their disability stopping them from working. And that can be anything from an injury that's happened to a chronic illness to mental health conditions that mean you can't go to work and therefore you're on Universal Credit. The bill to pay for this stuff is growing and growing and growing. And a lot of the reason it's growing is because more and more people with mental health conditions are signing up because they can't work, because they can't get a job. I'm bipolar, right? And I've been to so many courses and groups and so all that stuff. I've met people who really, really can't work. Like, they couldn't do it. And the idea that you shouldn't be able to claim disability benefit because you cannot work because of mental health is ludicrous. And no one's really saying that, but what people are saying is that too many people are. Some people who could work aren't working because they're getting all this lovely money from Universal Credit. They're going to change the system. The system's going to change. And one of the ways it's going to change is that it can focus on what you can do. If you can do work from home because leaving the house is a problem, either physically or mentally, let's find work you can do from home. If you can do work on a morning, maybe, let's get you work in the morning. So encouraging people to work when they can and supporting them when they can't. And there's been stupid rules for so long, like Universal Credit had to work 16 hours. And if you worked more than 16 hours, you lose like your housing benefit. And it's just stupid holding people back. The new system, whenever it's unveiled, will not hold people back. And that all sounds lovely, but also we know there's going to be harder cuts than that because this is also a cost-saving measure. The current system, they say, by 2030 is going to be worth £80 billion in benefits bill. We can't be spending £80 billion on benefits. So they're going to go back and cut money out. And how they're going to do that's really important. Another way they might do it is they might freeze PIP. So no one stops getting their personal independence program, but it doesn't get bigger. And that's deeply unpopular because the things you have to buy with PIP to be independent are not going to be frozen in cost, right? So if you're managing to make it here and then the cost goes up here, it's difficult and you're not as independent. And that is heartbreaking. The government need to have some movement. They're talking about radically reshaping things. We don't know how it's going to work yet, but it is coming. This chat is all happening now for two reasons. Reason number one is that Rachel Reeves is running out of money and we need money. This isn't going to help with that in the short term, but in the long term it might. And reason two is that the government are getting around to publishing their green paper. Now, what a green paper is it is a public consultation. So the government says, these are our plans. Hey, public, what do you think? In my experience, these consultations don't change very much. The heart of any changes, the heart of any cuts will go through that green paper. They might fiddle a bit with the sides, but the thrust of a green paper happens. After the green paper, sometimes they do a white paper, which is when they report back on the consultation, but this won't do that. They're not going to have a white paper. Bah! It'll go to Parliament. They'll publish the bill. If the green paper comes out in March, they'll probably have the bill in May in Parliament, and then it'll take a couple of months. It will probably get through before summer recess. Or maybe the bit between recess and conference in September. Maybe July, maybe September. I think we'll see this bill pass through all the different stages in the House of Commons and House of Lords. It's going to be controversial. We're going to have big debates in there. But while there are Labour MPs who will vote against it, almost certainly some, don't forget the Conservatives will mostly back it. Conservatives have been talking about benefits bill for a very long time. So it's going to go through. When we get it, that's going to be roughly what's going to be law by the end of the year. Probably changes happening 1st of April next year. Never predict anything in 2025. It's a mug's game. I just hope we're okay. This stuff is real. This isn't academic. This stuff matters. This is people's lives we're talking about. Let's make sure we look after people.